From the CyberHub bunker and studio, you're tuning in to the CyberHub Podcast. And now for your host and CISO, James Azar.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to our wrap-up episode of this week's Practitioner Brief, June 2nd, 2022. A lot to talk about today and not a lot of time. I'm trying to make these short, sweet, to the point, get right to it. So I'm going to get right into my single espresso this morning. All right. I wanted to show you guys these awesome little single mugs. So it's awesome. My single espresso coffee cup. Cheers. All right. A lot going on. Let's get right into it. One, a critical UNISOC chip vulnerability is affecting millions of Android devices. The critical security flaw was uncovered in UNISOC's smartphone chipset that could be potentially weaponized to disrupt the smartphone's radio communication through a malformed packet. The semiconductor manufacturer based in Shanghai, which is the world's fourth largest mobile processor manufacturer after MediaTek, Qualcomm, and Apple, accounts for about 10% of all SOC shipments in Q3. The now patched issue has been assigned an identifier CV 2022-20210, rated 9.4 out of 10 for severity. In a nutshell, the vulnerability discovered following reverse engineering of UNISOC's LTE protocol stack implementation related to a case of buffer overflow vulnerability in the component that handles non-access stratum messages in the modem firewall, resulting in a denial of service. To mitigate the risk, it's recommended that users update their Android devices to the latest available software as and when it becomes available as part of the Google Android Security Bulletin for June of this year. Cybercriminals are hoarding 1,200 unsecured Elasticsearch databases for ransom. Over 1,200 databases that could be accessed without authentication have already fallen victim to the attacks, which replaced their indexes with a note demanding a payment of 0.012 Bitcoin in exchange for the data. Again, unsecured databases make really easy marks. SecureWorks here says they could not determine the number of potential victims because the databases were hosted on networks maintained by cloud computing providers. According to SecureWorks, while an automated script was likely used to access the vulnerable databases and replace indexes with the ransom note, it's unlikely that the threat actor behind the campaign was able to exfiltrate the data from such large number of databases, 1,200 in total. So something to keep in mind. Hackers steal WhatsApp accounts using a call forwarding trick. WhatsApp used all over the world. If you're communicating anywhere internationally, WhatsApp is kind of like the go-to. All right, the trick that allows attackers to hijack a victim's WhatsApp account and gain access to personal messages and contact lists. The method relies on a mobile carrier's automated service to forward calls to a different phone number, and WhatsApp's option to send a one-time password verification code via voice call. So, again, verification through the telephone, never a good thing. That's why multi-factor authentication should be done through an authentication app and not through your device. There's just a lot of different things here that matter. The attacker first needs to convince the victim to make a call to a number that starts with a man-machine interface code that the mobile carrier set up to enable call forwarding. There is some social engineering to this specific vulnerability, but it's something to keep in mind, folks. The FBI seizes domains used to sell stolen data and DDoS services. OVH Booter, WeLeak Info, and IPstress.in have all been seized by the FBI. There's roughly 7 billion records contain various PII, including names, email addresses, usernames, phone numbers, and password for online accounts. All of that has been stopped by the FBI. ExpressVPN removes servers in India after refusing to comply with the government order. The VPN provider ExpressVPN on Thursday announced it's removing Indian-based VPN servers in response to a new cybersecurity directive issued by the Indian Computer Emergency Response Team, the CERT in India. Rest assured, our users will still be able to connect to VPN servers that will give them Indian IP addresses and allow them to access the internet as if they were located in India. These virtual India servers will be instead physically located in Singapore or the UK. The development comes after a new controversial data retention requirement that has been set into place and is scheduled to go into effect on June 27th. And it mandates that VPN providers to store subscribers' real names, contact details, and IP addresses assigned to them for at least 5 years, wanting to keep their users' privacy. ExpressVPN decided to just get out of there. Good for them. Cyber Command Chief confirms that U.S. took part in offensive cyber operations. General Paul Nakasone, the U.S. Cyber Command Director, confirmed for the first time that the U.S. had conducted offensive cyber operations in support of the Ukraine. He said that we've conducted a series of operations across the full spectrum of offensive, defensive, and information operations, according to Nakasone in a Sky News interview. Although the general didn't provide specifics, he did say that his job is to present a series of options to the Secretary of Defense and the President, and that's what they did. And it looks like cyber warfare was used by the U.S. in support of the Ukraine. Folks, that's it for our show today. Record time. I love it. Trying to get through it quick. A lot of things going on. We'll be back on Monday with a lot more. Until then, have a great rest of your day. And most importantly, stay cyber safe.
We love feedback, so make sure to connect with us on social media and subscribe to our podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform.